Alrighty, we are live for the LA Kings in Edmonton against the Oilers. Am a little bit late, but we are on game 4 of the Sunday Hockey Fest. Get a little bit of a break tomorrow, only 2 games. So that'll be a nice little break. So far, shots are just got downgraded to 5-1. No score as of yet. And we are 6 1/4 into the game. Potential tripping penalty doesn't get called. Edmonton crowd letting the refs have it. Understandably, to be honest, as much as I don't want to admit it. LA keeps it in the point in the Edmonton zone. Big tip goes wide of the net as the puck finds Byfield in front of the crease. LA resetting back to their own zone. Alrighty, so coming in a little bit late, we've already got some wild excitement. Big shot. Stop Skinner. I did see LA already got a power play. Edmonton so fast. LA gets the puck up and not out. Big stop by Kemper as the shot comes in from the high point. LA. Oh, off the skate. Unfortunately, LA heading out hits the skate of a teammate, and Edmonton's able to recover the puck and keep it in. Very unfortunate timing. Battle on the high wall. Puck still in the LA zone. Finally gets poked out. Heading in. You got a potential shot and a great back check. Can't see the number, but Edmonton with a great back check right there. Because that Moore was breaking in, and Nugent Hopkins made a great stick lift from behind. Great back check. Puck all the way in. In the LA zone, it comes back out. Edmonton back to their own blue line. They turn it around. Kempe doing good to disrupt the puck. And Edmonton's headed back, LA's headed back the other way. Down in the Oilers zone, behind the net. Edmonton playing back and forth to clear some space from LA. Nurse racing up the ice. Into the zone, goes right up the gut and fires a shot on Kemper that he saves. Puck down in the low corner. Trying to get it centered. LA able to get it. They get it down. And again, Edmonton resets from their own zone. They get in. Taking the route around the net. Up to the high point. Shot. Kemper fights it off to the side. Down on the low boards, we get a bit of a battle. Little shoving match, but LA comes away with it. Good sticks from both sides are really disrupting passes no matter where they're at on the ice. Both zones across neutral. Just absolute disruption from both sides. Edmonton throws it to the net. No connection. It goes straight across the crease. Same from the other side. Little flub of the puck, and LA's going to come the other way. Storming in. Setting up. Big shot. Save Skinner. Puck still loose. Still loose. Skinner gets in the way of the follow-up. Is that Skinner? Or did they finally switch it up? Big shot. It stopped out high. That's got to be Pickard, right? That's not Skinner. That's Pickard. He's playing too well. Big shot. Stopped by bodies out high from the Oilers. Kemper covers it up from the outside of the net and pulls it forward. And then, of course, Kane's going to come over and mess with people because he has no idea how to keep his hands to himself. He just loves being wrapped around other grown men. Ooh, possible elbow right there goes missed. That was definitely a trip that got missed. Nugent Hopkins right there. That was a great play. And then Pickard looks good. I know I called him Skinner a couple of times, but it finally hit me that he's playing way too good for it to be Stuart Skinner. It's funny. I keep wanting to call him Seymour Skinner, but I know that's not. He is not the principal of Springfield Elementary. Oh, good time to stretch. Oh, try and get the back loose a little bit. Been doing good so far. Again, we're on game 4 of a pretty destructive day of hockey, dude. You got the Blues over the Jets 5-1, the Hurricanes over the Devils 5-2, and the Caps over the Canadiens 5-2. So after what we've seen, what are we expecting? I was kind of, like I said, I want LA to win, but I thought Edmonton would end up destroying LA just because they're playing in Edmonton. I mean, so far, Edmonton hasn't gotten a couple of calls, and LA's had a power play. So those thoughts kind of bit me in the ass, didn't they? Waiting to see what's going to happen further on. But so far, the calls have not been going in favor of the Oilers. So, I mean, both sides are doing decent. Edmonton's falling behind on shots, 10-4. And so I'm sure a lot of those shots, 4 of those shots probably came off the power play. Ooh, LA wins the face-off, but Edmonton almost ends up with it. They gets it across the red line into the Edmonton zone. They got to pull it back out. Through the neutral zone, LA gets it deep into behind the Oilers' net. Nurse tries to clear it. Moore shuts it down on the high wall. Big shot, and they score! Moore beats Pickard to put LA up 1-0. Just over halfway through the first period. Nurse goes to send it around. Moore shuts it down. And then who is that for LA? Is that Denault? Yeah, Denault made a great play. Great backhand to Moore, and he just beats Pickard. So, scoring for the Los Angeles Kings, Trevor Moore, assisted by Denault. Puck down low on the LA wall. Down on the low wall in the LA zone. But Edmonton gets it out from their own zone. They're going to reset. McDavid heading up the low wall, gets up to the net. Again, McDavid is the best player that's never going to lift the cup. I mean, he just burns down, takes the slash, gets the Edmondson stick out of the way. He looks like he's going behind the net, and he cuts up to put, still goes behind the net, but cuts up to put a shot on Kemper before he does. It's just, the guy is an incredible hockey player. But again, until Edmonton have money to pay somebody other than McDavid and Draisaitl, it's always going to be rough for them, and I can't see them lifting the cup. And I may get those words stuffed down my throat this year. A lot of people thought I was going to eat those words last year. And then Florida kicked their ass. Not really. It was a hard-fought series, but Florida won. All right. LA getting it behind the net off a shot that goes wide. Oilers heading back in on the low wall. Leaves it back all the way across, and the shot misses. I was waiting for the shot from the top of the low dot. He goes for the pass to the high, right to the high dot. And damn, he missed. Skate is going very well. Congratulations, Mel. Glad to hear it. That is awesome. I said I would love to throw down a little bit, but I don't know. Got to be a little bit careful. Oilers. Now, what? Hey, did you throw some money on LA to score first? Oilers into the LA zone, pitched all the way across the ice, top of the high circle. It hit somebody out high. That stung. He is holding that right leg a little loose. And LA ices. His Fogo was too slow to get down. Oh, what's up with that? What was that about? Who just took a slash at him? That was Wallman. Took Kings money line 124. Nice. I think that's a good call. Oh, it was Clark who took that shot to the leg. But hey, so far you've been doing pretty good on those calls. So big shout out. Like I said, we actually had a little bit of money won today. It's been a little bit down lately. When the gamblers first started coming in, we were on a big up streak. And then towards the end of the season, it got brutal. And then during the playoffs, it's been real hit or miss. But today's been a big plus day for sure. Seven minutes to go in the first. Oilers into the zone. They go off the post. Big shot from the top of the high circle. Is that 51 or 91? I think it was 91. I think that was Kane that just went off the post. LA able to get it out. Oilers into their own zone to reset. Nurse circling around, waiting for the change. Nurse gets it up ahead. Oilers get it deep. Kemper's going to tap it to the corner. They didn't really do much with that, but it comes down around the low wall, up to the high boards, and out. Oilers resetting again from their own zone into neutral. They do not get it deep. I thought they did, but they apparently threw it right into the center of the ice where everybody was standing. Like a wall of white jerseys. Puck doesn't make it deep for LA. Sent back at the blue line. Sent back at the blue line again. In neutral. Back into their zone to reset. All the way up and offsides. No offsides, but that definitely looked offsides to me. Either way, Oilers are headed back the other way, and they dump it deep into the LA zone. Get it around to the high boards. Kings headed right back out. Big charge, but the Kings are able to get down. I think that was Draisaitl charging. I thought the dude was about to get hit till I realized it was Draisaitl. Oilers headed back the other way into neutral. All the way down the low boards. Sends it back behind the net to the high wall. Back the other way. Low point. Sent to the high corner. And it's knocked out. LA is the first one's back from the high dot. His stick breaks as he goes to take the shot. Goodness. This is some fun hockey to watch, man. Not a lot of stoppages and back and forth. Of course, that's probably just jinxed it, but Kings. Dude, who is that? Byfield just got cross-checked down by somebody. Oh, it's this cat. I don't know his name, but it's the super young-looking, tall, skinny dude for the referee. Not a fan of him. 4.5 minutes to go in the first. Shots are 12-5 LA. Let's see. Let's get make sure we're all updated on this. All right. So Edmonton's winning the face-offs, but only by 1. Shots are 12-5 LA. I just said that. I should have realized that I just said that. LA 0 for 1 on the penalties. Hits are 12 apiece. Kings have 7 blocked shots. So that's already making it a lot easier for them. I'm sure it hurts like hell, and they're going to be limping around for the next couple of days, but those blocked shots are big. Gives Kemper a little bit of time to relax. That Edmonton should have at least had 1 penalty, if not 2, or power play, if not 2. It's kind of going both ways, though. It's the officiating is not going the way I thought it would. It was wild watching I didn't think the officiating would go the way it did in Montreal either. That high stick never came. It was 4 inches from the guy's face, and then the penalty where Wilson went down shouldn't have been a penalty, and then there were a bunch missed the other way. I'm referring to TJ Luxmore. Okay, so I'm gonna be 100% honest, Mel. When I was referring to what, because I'm not sure. I gotta admit, I'm not sure who TJ Luxmore is. Me or is LA playing like this a couple dollars now his final year? A little bit. They got some juice going right now, races. But yeah, Mel, I gotta admit, I'm not sure. Not really sure who that is, so I'm going to admit maybe not. But whatever I said was like 30 seconds ago, so I have no idea what it was. Oh, referee. Okay, you reminded me. Okay. Let me see. Yes. I am not a fan of him being on the ice. This is Perry's final year, too. We got a penalty on Edmonton. Janmark is pissed. But LA is getting the man advantage. I missed it. I was too busy looking. But, Mel, you're 100% right. And races, dude, there's probably a lot of people that are done this year. I think it's going to be surprising. What is Yanmar complaining about here, dude? Like, I'm all for bitching at the ref, but there's at least got to be a penalty. Or, like, you got to at least be close. Yanmark just took his skate out. Like, what's the argument? Oilers clear it. Kempe resetting from behind his own net. LA Kings are 0 for 1 so far in the power play with 1 shot. Byfield getting in. He gets a shot on net. They let him cut right up through the center. Kempe throwing it down on net. That hits Pickard. And the Oilers are able to send it all the way down back behind Kemper. LA, Byfield pitches it over. That's offsides. You could see the timing was messed up on that, even from the weird low angle they decided to show. Just a good glove save by Pickard on that one. Let's see. Yep. See, you guys know to go high glove side on Pickard. You know this. Has an OT type of game feeling. It really does, Races. This has been, I mean, I know I only came in at about the 14-minute mark, 15-minute mark, but this game has gone by fast. I mean, very few stoppages. LA's power play gets set up. Great opportunities, but the Oilers fight them off incredibly well. 50 seconds left on the power play. 2:50 left in the first period. Shots are 14-5 LA. Kings just dominating Ozo time and opportunity. Just over 30 seconds. Doughty kicks it over. Getting it deep. Oh man, I can't. This feed is all bubbly. I can't see numbers. Puck getting all the way around. That I see Trevor Moore to Doughty. Doughty tries to center. It ends up going the other way. Oilers 2-on-2. Good stick by Doughty. Sends the puck back the other way. What a great defensive play. And then the Kings lose it in Edmonton zone. As we go to full strength and Edmonton ends up with an icing. But it does have an OT feel to it. The speed that both teams are playing with right now is impressive. Both sides are just... Oh, McDavid kind of elbowed Byfield. But of course, that wasn't really much there. It was just a little one. Oh, man, my back is going to be loving the bed tonight. Holy cow. Edmonton wins the face-off in their own zone. Oh, set up to, nope, a little bit behind. Almost had a 2-on-2. Big shot from the point goes wide of the net. And LA is able to tap it out. Another bullshit hit from what I swear Byfield just took another high hit. I want to see that. I don't think they'll show it, but I want to see that again. It looked like Byfield just took a high hit, which would be the second one he's taken. That absolutely was a high hit. Edmonton has their better grade A chances. LA has the offense his own time. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm taking Kemper over Pickard. Like, I take, after the last game, I'll take Pickard over Skinner, but I'm taking Kemper over Pickard. Dude, Byfield caught an elbow from McDavid, and then right there, Draisaitl takes the time to line him up and drop a shoulder right to his mouth. This is more of what I expected to happen was the bullshit. Like I said, those two are perfect examples. An elbow and a shoulder to the face of the same guy. No call, no nothing. Just play on, guys. I didn't see anything. And that's the stuff that really Edmonton gets away with. And then eventually LA's going to get sick of it and retaliate. And as soon as anybody, especially Kane and Nurse, they'll sit there and slash the shit out of you. And if you turn around and yell at them, they'll drop to the ice. Dude. Like I said, I've always had respect for McDavid's ability. He is an impressive player. That son of a bitch is dirty as hell. And I feel like not enough people talk about the BS that he gets away with. Again, one of the biggest ones was last year. I cannot remember who it was they were playing against. I just remember him spinning back and hitting somebody in the face with his stick, busting them wide open. And it got completely ignored. Bold prediction for the Oilers is they finally get Gibson? I don't know. It is a bold prediction. I'll give you that. Guys getting tied up behind the net. Oilers need to get rid of Nursing Kane. Yanmark can stay. They got to lower the payments to McDavid and Draisaitl, which will never happen. And then bring in a couple of forwards that can score and an extra strong defenseman. Let's see tools. 40 seconds to go. LA into the zone, takes a shot. Bounces off the wall, comes back, another shot misses the net. LA in the Oilers zone, forcing the puck down low. Under 30 seconds. Edmonton sends it down lower. Byfield tries to make a play. It bounces off his stick. Edmonton sends it down. And we have no icing. Perfect force to get that thing right on the baseline. And we have 9 seconds. And as Oilers place the puck perfectly, LA sends that down. We've got a face-off in front of Kemper. Running up Phil from the NHL. See, I'll admit I'm not familiar enough with the guys down in the AHL. Kind of plan on working on that a little bit more through and looking at the drafts and all that, the draft picks through the summer and stuff. Kind of doing my research more on the guys that are down low. But yeah, I gotta admit that's just full flat out honesty. I don't have the knowledge to comment on bringing guys up. Like, even the Silver Knights, I'm bad about it. 8.5 seconds. Face off to the right of Kemper. Shots are 14-6. Can Edmonton throw it on the board in the last couple seconds? Big shot. Goes wide of the net. Another shot. Goes up and out of play. Now 2.9 seconds. I'd expect them to pull Pickard out of the goal. So they have the extra attacker. Trying to check play. They're high on, right on. See, it's the next like 2 or 3 years are going to be kind of interesting because a lot of teams are doing rebuilding stuff. Like my two biggest examples are like San Jose and Boston getting rid of guys that were like, wait, what? Wait, what? And San Jose's been doing that for a couple of years. That's how we got Hurdle. But yeah, there's gonna be it's gonna be interesting the next couple of years to see what happens with trades, with moving around. Let's see who retires. All that. It's I'm very, very curious to see. And then of course all the draft picks and the guys getting brought up and stuff. Like I said, that's why I want to get a little more familiar with the AHL, but yeah, I don't know. I lost my train of thought, but I basically, at the moment, I am very unfamiliar. And away we go to fish while we wait for the next period to start. Go fishing. So I do see, let's see, hang on. So what are we seeing now that we've watched the first period of Edmonton and LA? It is definitely giving off the vibes of like an OT game in the first period. You're 100% on that, races. And Edmonton is just skating hella fast. It is crazy how fast the Oilers are in aggregate. But LA is doing a very good job staying with them. Um, the chippiness and the bullshit is starting to happen, especially from McDavid, Kane, and Draisaitl, which Kane's the one that actually makes me nervous when he starts getting chippy, because he will hurt you for the sake of hurting you, and it will be dirty. Like, Evander Kane is one of those guys, there is no respect for, man. The things he used to do in San Jose, I couldn't believe he still played. But LA just has to get back on the idea of shut down Draisaitl and McDavid, and you make your job a lot easier. Of course, the hard part is when they come storming into the zone faster than hell. So just keep forcing them to the wall. Make sure you're sending all your help towards the wall. Give him space to move, but make sure his out is towards the boards. Otherwise, eventually he's going to tear him up. Draisaitl has been working the low boards. They're having trouble shutting those guys down. But again, when you're coming in with that much speed, it's kind of hard to. Because one little move and they're gone. What were the shots? I'm going to look right now. 14-6 Kings. Now, the Kings also had 2 power plays, which definitely helps with that. Nothing going on the power plays. I think they got one. Or actually, never mind. I take that back because they only got 1 or 2 shots on each power play. I think the second one was a little bit better, but yeah, the power play hasn't been producing anything for LA, which shout out to Edmonton's penalty kill. That's something that needs to get going for LA, because if the Oilers are going to give you the opportunity, you need to take advantage. So far, no penalties on the Kings, which is not really. No penalties called on the Kings. Not necessarily nothing committed by the Kings. Oilers have a couple of complaints in that first period. A couple of complaints to go each way. But it's hockey. It is what it is. Like I said, the TJ Luxmore, not a fan of him being on the ice. I'm not a big fan of any officiating in any professional game because I truly believe they all suck. Basketball, NFL, all of it. It's all terrible. But I don't watch those anymore, so hockey is more of where my knowledge comes from. And they're like, not a big fan of the officiating, but there are a couple of guys where you just go, no. This is gonna be bad. And that dude is like top of the list. You see him on the ice, and it's like, because you have no idea what's going to get called. You have no idea if he's going to be calling ticky-tack stuff. You have no idea if he's going to let, a straight-up murder take place and just let it go. You have no idea if he's going to, he's not going to be consistent with both teams. That's the one thing that is absolutely not going to happen. Like, that's the one thing you can expect. But otherwise, anything can happen at any given moment. There are no rules, and if there are rules, we make them up as we go. I mean, it's ridiculous. Damn it, I wanted to stop myself from casting out. See if we can hurry up, get this guy in, get the next one in. And we did. Oh, but what a day of hockey, man. My voice is going to be gone come tomorrow. But we only have 2 games tomorrow, so it's no big deal. There's an NHL ref caught on hot mic saying he was going to make a bullshit call. He got fired. I'm not surprised, dude. Like, I've said it over and over again. The only people not held, like, everybody is responsible for their actions, and every single person in that arena, except for the referees. And the best way I think about it is NHL has the money, give them 150 grand a year guaranteed. If their call percentage accuracy or their call accuracy percentage is 90% or plus for the entire season, they can end up making 300 grand off of bonuses. You get bonuses every game. If you're over this percent, or this percent, you get this much, or this much of a bonus, and you can make twice as much by the end of the year if you are that good at making correct calls. For one, nobody in that would be making that much money, but it would incentivize that happening. 2, you got to figure out a way to marry the officials with the technology, because right now the officials rely on technology. So they don't have to get better at their jobs. They're like, screw it. We'll just review it. It happened earlier. There was a play that had no business being called a 5-minute penalty. But they did it so that they could review it. And it's like, of course you did. You call the bullshit so that you can go and review because you're afraid to make a call on the ice. It's but that way you incentivize the refs to improve. Like I said, you make the salary worth being good for, and you make it low enough to where you can live, you're fine. But after a certain point, if your percentage is below a certain point for a certain amount of time, you're done. Bye. We'll get the next guy in line. And then also you look at you take guys in the AHL, NHL, and you incentivize them to go to like refereeing school. And you put it in a place that has a high hockey population so that whoever's at that school is constantly doing midget games and junior games and beer league games. And there's always a place to practice. But again, you incentivize. You do it for free if you played in the AHL or higher. That way you get guys who somewhat know the rules, at least, but they know hockey. They know the situation. And you train those guys. They know a lot of the guys on the ice, so there's a little bit more respect. You know what I mean? But fixing the referee problem is really not that hard. Just leagues refuse to do it, and it's the most irritating thing in the world because of how easy it actually is. And it all comes from incentive and accountability. If a ref does pretty good, maybe they don't have to be asked questions. But if a ref blows a certain amount of calls or a big call in a certain point, he should have to answer questions. Maybe no reporters ask the refs, but the refs have to put out a statement about what they saw and why they called it what it was. Something as simple as that. Something that people can look at and at least try to have an understanding of why the bad call was made. But you have the accountability. It's just like everything else in life. Accountability, transparency, and you incentivize with money. You get extra money if you're selected to be refereeing playoffs, and you make extra money if you're the crew for the Stanley Cup or one of the crews for the Stanley Cup. Like, there are a million things you can do to make it worth being a ref, because dealing with that shit ain't fun. But dude, you're a grown-ass adult doing a job that you are paid for, just like everybody else is a grown-ass adult who does a job they're paid for. And for me, it's the lack of any accountability. Oh, the ref absolutely did cost the game? Oh, well, that sucks anyway. relegation system for refs. Exactly. And like I said, it's you incentivize with money and you hold account with punishment. Relegation system is a perfect way to look at it. And you hold it to a high standard. Like, if you're below 90% on your calls, we got to figure out why. If we can't figure out why, have a good night. You're done. Bye. But if we can figure out why and make you better, good. Let's do that. But if you're just ass, if you're Angel Hernandez level ass with the MLB, then you don't get to have a nice cushy career and a great retirement. Like, bye. All right, let's see if I can get one more in 5 minutes. That's not what I wanted to do. Hang on. Oh, escape. Oh, okay. I gotta do it this way. Hang on. Because I gotta bring the game back up. Trying to make sure I don't absolutely kill the computer with all the stuff going on. From all sports is Angel Hernandez, exactly. And he had a nice long career. And that should never happen. Okay, come on. I don't want to hear the... Dude, let me get... All right. All right, I got 4.5 minutes to reel something in. I do have the game up, so even if we're late, we'll still be back in time to see what's happening. But yeah, that's like I said, that's the big thing is we have too many horrible refs making too many horrible calls with nothing. Everybody complains and bitches about it, but not enough people really put up an idea about how to fix it. Well, I have my idea, and there it is. Is it a perfect system? Probably not. Most likely not. In fact, I'll say no. But it's a hell of a lot better than any of the sport leagues have come up with a way to not have shitty refs ruining important moments of games. Especially with bad calls on offsides as somebody's breaking into the offensive zone. You know what I mean? Because you can't reset the puck and go again. That's over. If you were wrong, you killed that play. No repercussions. All right, I need my bobbers to bob. I just turned it off. I'm trying to I think stuff's probably gonna get a little bit nasty in this period because it was starting to already. Like I said, I can't believe that hit to the head from Draisaitl to Byfield didn't get called. The elbow from McDavid, whatever. But that shoulder from Draisaitl was a purposeful hit to the head on Byfield. And for that to just go completely unseen is a little bit ridiculous to me. All right. We'll send out one more cast. Maybe we can get that in 2 minutes. All right, last cast, and then we're loading back up for the game. I said it's the thing about it's funny because I'm looking at the stats, and the thing about Edmonton compared to LA. LA, you can look at the stats and really get an understanding. But with Edmonton, they are such a one and done team. Like they do get set up. They have good setups and good plays in the offensive zone. But so many times it's storm in, try to get a shot on net, get back the other way for defense. Puck's probably heading out type of thing. See, I actually remembered to do that instead of showing the game this time. Right? I'm learning. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Ah, man. I know I normally don't really talk about this stuff, but we are one away from 100 on the subs, and that actually feels really that feels pretty cool, man. Not gonna lie. I know it's just a drop in the pond, but feels good, man. Feels good. Dude, Fiala had that. I can't believe he missed that shot. Alrighty, we are back. LA getting the puck into the Edmonton zone early. They are already going at it on the boards. I love it. And Pickard covers. Sorry, Pickard covers as Nurse and Lafreniere have a little back and forth. I said I keep wanting to call him Picard, but it's Pickard. Wow. Fiala just starting off with a cross check and then another one on the face off. Dude, Edmonton is in the doing what Tampa was doing to Florida game 3 and what Montreal did to Washington game 3. And we'll see how the calls end up being made because that's going to be the difference. Edmonton up the other zone fast. God, these guys are fast. Swing and a miss to the left of Kemper. A wide open net as he was drawn around to the right side. Man, Oilers close. Big shot. Blocker save. Kemper. Kemper loses his stick. Chasing the guy around the net. Get it out, guys. LA needs to get it deep, and they do. Plenty of time to get his stick. Good job, Kings. Edmonton to neutral. Dumped in from the red line. Puck all the way around and out. That thing went all the way down. Oilers trying to get back across neutral. That was borderline. LA trying to make a quick little move. They do get it out. Not a bad pass. That can't believe that just worked out the way it did. Holy shit. Fogle scores, but immediately Pickard's up, waving no. I'm adding it to the board. Like I said, that froze me. I'm usually a little bit more excited for goals, but that play just froze me. I have no idea what the hell I just saw. I thought like it very well could be interference. Let's see, because that pass was great. That was great. What's the interference? I don't understand. That's the interference. He shoves the pad out of the way and then makes it. That's 100% goaltender interference, no goal. We'll go ahead and take that one off of the board. No, there's no challenge. You got to be kidding me. That may legitimately be like, so we watched one of the dumbest coaches challenges, in my opinion, last time these two played. And we just watched what, in my opinion, is the dumbest no challenge. And I think they affected each other because LA challenged the tying score and immediately got lost and immediately got scored on the power play. And I think that's what Edmonton's afraid of. But there is zero doubt he shoved Skinner's pad out of. Skinner made the stop. He uses his stick to spin Skinner out of the way and then puts the puck in the net. That should have been goaltender interference. Dude, couple of shots from LA going on Pickard. He's dropping down and patting them away nice and easy. But that's tough. That, if I'm Pickard, I'm asking coach, what the fuck, dude? Because there is no doubt about it in my mind. 2.5 gone in the second period. Shots are 19-7, and LA holds the lead 2-0 over Edmonton. Take a look. Scoring for the Los Angeles Kings, Warren Foegele, assisted by Denault. And it looks like Kempe may be going to the box for a trip. Oh, yeah, the chippiness is alive and well, y'all. We know they've been doing good on the power play, so this very well could be a 2-1 game in about 7 seconds. It looked like Draisaitl grabbed the stick and pulled it into his skates. Alrighty, here we go. This should actually be a rather quick one. Something that Edmonton does is they score fast on power plays. Now, typically, it's one of those where, for the most part, they score really fast, or they don't score at all. But all right, LA doing a good job to keep him out so far. Oilers head up the ice. Leaving it back. Into the zone. Up to the low wall. All the way. Nope. Up to the high point. Baseline. Point. It goes right past. They miss on the connection. Oilers try again. Cross the point. They get it down low. Kings are there. Back to the low point. He gets it under the net. Danger zone. From the high circle, he misses. Over a minute gone in the Edmonton power play. Draisaitl gets it in front of the net. Big backhand. Puck flops around. LA cannot find it. And from the crease, Edmonton makes it 2-1. Kemper made a good stop at first, but then as he kind of stood up trying to find the puck, it flopped right behind him into the middle of the crease. And Perry able to bury it. Oh, no, that should be a high stick. Hold up, hold up, hold up. That is very, very close to being a high stick. It looks like he played it up high over his shoulders and then swatted it down and put it in. Now, him putting it, if it goes in the net, it has to be below the crossbar. But if it doesn't go in the net, then a high stick is above the shoulders. And it definitely looks like he plays it right here. Nope. I don't think you challenge it. But that is definitely very, very close. Scoring for the Edmonton Oilers with a power play goal, Corey Perry, assisted by Draisaitl and Nugent Hopkins. LA getting some chances in neutral. They get it deep. Coming around to the high wall. Trying to get the puck out front. Good sticks by the Oilers. Kings send it back down deep around to the low wall. Back under the net. Get it. Just trying to play it into some open ice. Hope something develops. So far, not bad for the Kings, but another good stick by the Oilers and the puck's out. That was, like I said, that was very close to being a high stick. Not for the shot into the net, but a stoppage because he played it over his shoulders. Definitely not something you challenge. Good on the rest for not calling it. Pickard with another good save. LA cycling. Fiala looking. He cuts back from the low dot. Hits bodies out front. Goes to the corner. Edmonton headed back the other way. Deep into the LA zone. That comes out to the low wall. Trying to get it centered. They do, but nobody home for Edmonton. Kings getting it deep again. And the puck ends up out. Kings into neutral. Dumped from the red line. Puck on the low boards. Good little hit, but LA gets the shot from the low point. Fought away by Pickard, and Oilers reset. Dude, this is... You really did call it, racist fan, because the OT pace, and it's the pace that's really doing it. Both sides are moving extremely quickly. Both sides, there's not a lot of grouping up in the neutral zone. There's a lot of speed through neutral, and when the puck gets loose, it's going back the other way. They either get it deep, or as soon as it crosses into the zone, it's gone. It is very, very fast. There's a bunch of chippiness, some decent hitting, some off-color hitting is what it is. But it's 100% the pace of play that makes this game right now feel as intense as an overtime game. And it started, like I said, I made it back about 5 minutes late for the start. And the from 15 minutes on, it was just an intense first period. And now it's been an intense second period, and I love every second of it. Let's check it. Let's check the stats real quick. Shots are 2010 Kings. Edmonton really struggling to get shots on net. 0 for 2 on the penalty on the power play for the Kings, and 1 for 1 for the Oilers. Can't let them get on the power play, unfortunately. 23 hits apiece, not bad. 9 block shots for LA to Edmonton's 3. Oilers have 6 giveaways to the Kings 3, and neither team has a takeaway. So, take what you will with that. It was a confusing play to watch before they slowed it down because I had no idea what happened. All right, face-offs coming to the right of Kemper. Kings win it, take the high boards out. Right into the middle, little misplay. Now Trevor Moore for the Kings. Ooh. Not quite paying attention, and Moore waited a little too long to get it deep. So they dump it. They got to get out. Doughty racing down. He actually gets there first. Good for him. Good for the old guy racing in there first. But the puck comes back, and you end up with a shot on Pickard. Who was that? 92. Podkolson. See, this is why I don't really try to figure out a lot of these names. Holy cow, I sound like an idiot. I mean, I am an idiot, but I sound like an idiot trying to say some names, and I'm just butchering them. Draisaitl bent over the bench, getting work done by a guy behind him. Back to the game. Kings win it. High point. Send it. Goes around Pickard and up to the low wall. Oilers get it up the low wall and out. Edmonton deep into the zone. Edmonton battling for the puck, goes way up high. And now we're out of play off a tip. And they go back to the commercial break screen, which we just had. There we go. I know that doesn't make sense. Oilers win the faceoff. Good stick. Forces the puck away. Great opportunity for LA. They score! Fiala just breaking through a perfect pass. Sets him just on the other side of the blue line. And LA makes it a 3-1 game. That was a great stick by Fiala. He starts it all. And then Lafreniere hits what may be the best pass of the playoffs. Up over everybody, past 2 sticks. Fiala knocks it out of the air. And buries it past Pickard. What a goal. $12 1/4 to go in the second. Shots are 22-9 LA. Oilers need something. From the high point, shot goes around the net, misses by 5 feet. Oilers try to go back the other way, no going. Kings up the ice, tipped in. They're going to get it deep behind the net. Up to the high point, top of the high circle, all the way across. Looking. Going to get down behind the net. Kings just controlling in the O zone. Ooh, a nice little bit of a weak pass. Ends up on a stick. Can't beat Pickard. Edmonton goes deep. Kemper to play it. Can Oilers score one more goal anytime? Yeah. I mean, with 31 minutes left, LA is going to commit another penalty that is going to give Edmonton a power play goal. So I absolutely think they will. And like I said, I think it's going to be a power play goal because their 5-on-5 is trash. Face off between Draisaitl and Denault to the right of Kemper. Kings working their way out up the high boards. That hand pass, yeah. Yeah, it's like I said, it's getting too chippy for the Kings not to get busted doing something. Dude, that 50-50 jackpot's going to $5 million. It's the problem with Blue. She wants to do everything. All he had to do was pass it to Nurse. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, the guy was way too out high on the point to try and get cute with it. And I have the same complaint about Shea Theodore and Alex Pietrangelo for the Golden Knights. It's just stop trying to get cute with it. Go to your help. If it doesn't work, reset. But it's a lot better than breaking a guy the other way. I said, shout out to Lafreniere for a perfect pass. Shout out to Fiala for snagging it out of the air and then beating Pickard. But none of that should have happened. It was just dumb decision across the blue line. Oh, Kemper doesn't glove it. He tries to, but drops it. Puck stays live out in front of him, and he makes a great save on Janmark. Bad turnover for LA, and that very nearly cost him. Oh, never mind. That wasn't on LA. That was a great play. Who was that, Frederick? Yeah, that was Frederick. Actually made a really good play. So not on LA, not a turnover. That was a great stick that forced the puck to the middle. And Kemper making a great stop. Dude, Kane and Doughty keep going at it, and I want to see that fight because Doughty will absolutely house Evander Kane. Like, that ain't even going to be fun to watch Well, for me, it'll be really fun to watch, but dude, that'll be an ass whooping, and I'm here for it. Big stop, hitting bodies out front as the Oilers get a puck on net. Kings clear, hand pass. If I'm the Oilers, don't give Booz 10 mil. He wants to bridge 3 years, not 6 million. I mean, dude, I'm sorry, like, nobody on the Oilers are worth the money they're paid, and I include Draisaitl and McDavid in it. Like, are they incredible hockey players? Absolutely. But Edmonton pays way too much money to too few players. You're not spreading the love. You're not getting guys that are going to help those two. I've said it for many years. Well, okay, a few years. Connor McDavid will be known as the greatest hockey player to never lift the cup. Because until he gets a team around him, it's not going to happen. You know, like, say what you want about the Knights, but one thing I love about them is we constantly have, I mean, we had like 20 guys over 10 goals or so, 17 guys over 10 goals, something like that. Like, our entire team, our line all the way through can produce and can take any spot needed. And that's a big reason why I love the Knights. Now, this year has been a grossly sloppy year all the way through the regular season. You've had glimpses of what I mean when they play well, which has not been happening in the playoffs. We need a miracle to look halfway decent. But trust me, I've said over and over again, watch me eat my words. But so far, I've been right. Like I said, it's, I'm sorry, but hockey is not a sport where your superstar quarterback can lead the team to the Super Bowl. One great defensive end can change the game in football. You know what I mean? When it comes to hockey, I mean, Wayne Gretzky was Wayne Gretzky, and even they weren't unstoppable. You know what I mean? I mean, pretty damn fucking close. Like, let's be honest. Any team he was on was pretty damn near unstoppable, but still, you got to have people around you, It's one of those things. Jordan isn't Jordan without Pippen and Scotty. Or, sorry, Pippen and Rodman. Yeah, Pippen and Scotty, the same guy. Oh, Byfield, I think, just took a puck off the neck. But, oh no, we got a high stick. LA is going on a power play. Oh yeah, he blades him right in the throat. Actually has built a decent team to Skinner. Arvidsson is not fit. See, decent team. To be honest with me, I don't think they can afford the players that they need around McDavid and Draisaitl. And you're right. I mean, Skinner, Arvidsson, not a fit at all. But I am full belief they just spent too much money on too few players. And so it's harder to get a lot of the guys that could come in and help. You're right, but they didn't win it. And that's my whole point. And what was you're right, absolutely, but they didn't win it. And this is my opinion about McDavid and Draisaitl. You're right, they have a decent team. You're right, they went to the Cup last year. And now, I don't think they're making it past LA. Big shot, misses the net. Byfield gets it down the wall. Puck all the way around. LA up to the point, Kempe. Trying to get it to the low dot. It takes a weird bounce and almost goes in. Back to the point, and he misses Kempe. Puck all the way down, trying to feed it across the crease. It gets stopped right next to him. LA has it. Edmonton heading out. 2-on-3 if they want to try it. They tried a little bit, but LA's going back the other way. Oh, we're getting a holding penalty. I didn't even see it. If I'm the Kings and want a road to the Cup, you do not want the Avs or the Stars in the West Finals. Yeah. Well, I mean, you're right. I don't want to take that route either. Oh, okay. Doughty held the stick. But I mean, honestly, Colorado is looking really good. I know they went 1-for-1 in Colorado, but that last game, the Avs looked really good. So yeah, I'm starting to lean towards the Avs. I was thinking Winnipeg would make it out of the West, but after their performance in St. Louis, the curse of being Winnipeg has struck. What an attempt by the Oilers, and Kemper with a great save. 30 seconds gone on the Edmonton power play. Working the way down that low wall. Kings going back 2-on-1. They got to hurry a little bit. More shoots, and Pickard makes the save. Hulky, this is the chance, man. Like I said, this ain't going to be the only chance, but this is a big chance for Edmonton to get that another goal anytime. And they looked horrible right there. Face off in the Oilers zone. Minute 17 to go on the Oilers power play. 7:16 to go in the period. Shots are 26-12. See, the one thing I will say about LA and the Avalanche, from what I'm seeing, LA might actually have the best opportunity because when you look at speed teams, like, you look at hitting teams, you look at speed teams, LA and Edmonton are speed teams. They are super fast. And LA has done a great job with Edmonton. Now, there's been a lot of mistakes, the thing that's really going to cost LA is that they've been burning out in the third period. The biggest thing the Oilers need to get this offseason is to a goalie and a right-handed D-man. See, I like the way you think. That's definitely a very good start for them. Because, yeah, the goalie, absolutely. It's hard to win when you have to score 5 goals every single game just to get more than the other guy. But, like, a strong right-handed defenseman would help. Puck goes wide as the Oilers get another shot on. 30 seconds to go in the power play, and the puck somehow doesn't go in off that tip. Good Lord. Puck luck in this period not falling on the Oilers' side. Getting it down low, back to the low point. High point, looking. Back to the low point. Tosses it down low, and it goes wide. Holy cow, LA shut down an Edmonton power play. Back to full strength. One more shot, and Kemper makes the save as it hits him in the crest. That's one thing. I mean, this game isn't the greatest example, but a lot of the other games, some crazy goalies making some crazy plays, and I mean, being just fantastic goaltending, and still the game's 3-2, 5-4. Oh man. Like I said, playoffs are just too much fun, man. I don't know. Like I said, it's the only time I could ever get really interested in a team other than the Knights. This is just fun. Costal Edmonton is missing Ekholm big time. Yes. You know what? I will admit, I totally forgot about Ekholm. So you are absolutely right. They are missing him. That's pretty big. Say, what are they at shots wise? I mean, the Oilers have 14 shots. Granted, the Kings have 12 block shots, so they're doing a great job getting in the way of the puck. But most of what's going on for Edmonton is they're missing by 5 feet. Hits are definitely starting to climb 29-27 in favor of LA. Holy shit. I knew I would start. I knew I'd start dragging ass as we hit this game. It's been a long day. Fun day, but a long day. Just under 6 minutes to go in the second. Nurse has it as the Oilers win the face off to the right of Kemper. Oilers send it. Stopped way out high on the high dot. Kings are able to get it out. Good pressure separates the puck. Dude, like I said, I don't really have fun watching Edmonton. Don't really have fun watching the Kings, but I've had a blast watching Edmonton play the Kings. Like, this series has been fantastic, and this game has been, I mean, the pace of this game has been incredible. Shit. Delayed offside. Kings trying to get it out of their own zone. They do, but not very far. Puck bounces up into the bench. Face off in neutral. Last 11 playoff meetings versus the Kings at home ice. There's Edmonton 7-4 with 50 goals, 34 against. 51.5% on the power play and 84.4 on the penalty kill. Let's see. Yeah, well, this time they're 28.6 on the power play and only 41.7 on the penalty kill. So they're almost half of the usual expected performance on the power play from Edmonton and worse than half on the expected penalty kill performance. That is nuts, dude. 41.7% on the penalty kill. Man, Redline's taking people out. Bouncing puck. Looked like it surprised Pickard, but he sends it to the wall. Big laid out stick swing. But Oilers get it anyway. A lot of pressure, but the puck ends up sitting down right before the blue line, and the Oilers are offsides. Ooh, so tomorrow, 4 o'clock and 6:30. We'll be here at 4 o'clock to watch Florida and Tampa go at it again. And we will be here at 6:30 for Colorado and Dallas. Now, I'm honestly a little bit excited for both games. I don't know what to expect either way. Think Colorado. Wow, that stick just went flying. I'm curious what happened there. I think Colorado will beat Dallas, even though they're going back to Dallas. And I really don't know what to expect in Florida Tampa. Ooh, puck swatted down the fly ball. Kemper knocks down. Fiala gets it up ahead. It's in the zone. Big shot. Sends it out of play. Oh. I'm going to try and crack my own back here. 4 minutes to go. Oilers trying to get the puck out of their zone under pressure. Not able to do it right at the blue line. Puck ends up going deep into the low corner. Finally, Kings settle it as they head out of their own zone. Cross neutral, deep into the Kings zone. Kemper plays it, sends it up the high boards. It pops out front, and LA gets it out. And it's dumped deep by Edmonton. Battle for it in the high corner of the LA zone. Working free. Puck comes loose. Edmonton has it. Working towards the net. Going for the wraparound. A little spin shoot from the hard angle. Edmonton has it at the high point. Down below the net. Kemper doesn't have his stick. And a bad pass, but LA kind of, okay. Edmonton decided to bail out. And now LA needs to get this deep. Oh, smart play. I think that was Doughty. He had to go back in the zone to play the puck, so he skated right at the stick and knocked it with his skates. Hey, you got no choice, man. It's in the way that he was going. LA storming in. Look at that speed. As I talk about it, Trevor Moore, just a demon. But Edmonton heads out. That should have been a slash. LA doing a good job in neutral to force some rough decisions. Oilers behind their own zone, trying to reset. 1:30 to go in the second period. Edmonton trying to get a late one to make it a game before we head into second intermission. Fed out front, out top, and all the way back. Oilers cannot connect with each other. Cutting to the middle, making a play. Good effort Not sure who that was for Edmonton cutting it up, but a couple of great moves just stopped short. LA looking fantastic, man. 45 seconds to go in the second period. LA gets it into the Oilers zone. They maintain control, working around the net, trying to get it up to the point. It ends up hitting somebody, not making it. Oilers coming in from the high dot, missed the net by 5 feet again. Under 30 seconds, LA into the zone, 3-2, but a risky decision doesn't pay off for LA on the leave pass as his partner was cutting up to the net. Oilers trying again, 15 seconds into the zone. Puck well wide of the net, bounces up to the high wall. And Edmonton ends up clearing it on themselves, and we are going into second intermission with a 3-1 LA lead. That's where we're at right now. Pretty, little bit of what I expected, to be honest. Not quite. I mean, Edmonton kind of got gypped on a few calls. I can admit that 100%. Little unfortunate, but hey, now they know what it's like. Damn. All right. Let's get rid of that. We'll get rid of that. We'll bring up this, and we'll go back to fishing. Tomorrow should be tomorrow's going to be a good day. It's going to be a fun day. I'm really happy because there's only 2 games. So my old rusted, burnt out brain gets a little bit of a break. Like I said, starting at 4 for Florida, Tampa. And we'll also be live at 6:30 for the Avalanche in Dallas. I think LA takes it. Or sorry, LA. What the hell? I think Colorado takes it. All right. Let's catch some fish while we wait. Whoa. I don't want to cast that out. There we go. Boom. Yeah, so Edmonton has had a chance on the power play. Really thought they would get it. They ended up not looking fantastic on that last one. Ooh. Mute that. Like I said, that play from Fiala made the play, gets the puck to Lafreniere, who makes the perfect pass over the blue line on the perfect time, and Fiala makes a great play to swat it out of the air and drives in. That was a fun goal to watch. Put $10 on next year's first round, be Edmonton versus LA again. Yeah, I mean, I could see it. It's just looking at the West, I'm not surprised that it's ended up being what it is. Right, like what everything is, or the way the bracket is right now. I could absolutely see it again. That you putting $10 on that would be a fairly safe investment in my opinion. I said it's going to be very interesting to see everybody who leaves. Not just the people who've been announced, but people who decide in the offseason that one more year is just too much. And then seeing what the reactions for the teams are, what they do. Are they going to pull up? Are they going to look outside? I don't know. I feel like the next couple of years are going to be interesting. This summer should be very interesting. You saw a lot of things happen at the trade deadline. And I'm curious to see what happens with a lot of those different trades. I don't know. Like I said, it should be fun the next couple of years seeing what happens. I feel like there's going to be some teams dropping and some teams climbing. Which is, I mean, to be honest, that's a fairly fence sitting position to take. I mean, I understand that, but uh, I'm really curious to see what my Knights are gonna do because I don't think they have like the problem with us, and I don't know how it is on other teams. I don't follow it too close. The Knights I follow more than anything else, obviously, but we pick a guy that we decide is going to be our savior in a position, and then nobody gets to try to take that position away from him. And Shea Theodore is the exact example of that. Same with Petrangelo. Team I see falling in the Pacific is Vegas and only to a wild card. Eh. I'm not sure what to expect from Vegas after this year because the idea is there. The execution has been trash. So, Vegas in 6. I like the way you think, Mel. And honestly, I mean, being a fan, I'm on that side. But Vegas has to really step up their game because we did not deserve to win game 4. And so, like I said, Vegas is a very good team. We have the right idea. Our execution has been horrible. Like, if we stay with most of this team for next year, we'll be a good team. But we got to put in the effort to get our guys disciplined. So it's like I see Vegas being strong for a couple more years. Um, they said they invested in Hilly. They invested in Hannafin and Theodore and a couple other guys. Howden and Colasar and a bunch of forwards. So, I don't know. Like I said, I think I'm definitely biased. Take anything I say when it comes to Vegas with a grain of salt, but I think we'll be strong for a couple more years before the attempted rebuild starts to happen. I don't know. Like I said, there's a lot to be impressed about in this playoffs, and there's a lot to be slightly disappointed about. If Seattle could get the right head coach, do you think Woodcroft they could be a problem? Um, I mean, fair enough. Again, I didn't watch many of the Seattle games, so my memory of their style and their way of running games is very very rough. So, um, Seattle's brand new. Like Vegas is one of those rare is a very rare instance for what they had in their first season, the success they had for the first couple, and then we absolutely collapsed. Um, Seattle can go one of two ways. You're right. They could get the right head coach, get a roster together that buys into the system, and end up being a real big problem. Um, I don't know how bought in the guys are up there. Like I said, unfortunately, my knowledge when it comes to Seattle is very, very limited. When it comes to a lot of the teams, you know, I'm pretty good with like half of them, but Seattle ain't one of them. So to really have a strong opinion wouldn't be proper of me since, quite frankly, I have no idea what the hell I'm talking about with them. But I'll absolutely take your word for it. 15 more trophies, and I get some bonuses. You thinking about 2 to 3 years? Um, you're not wrong. That's going to be very interesting to watch because they got rid of a bunch of people. They were very weird this year. It was just kind of weird this year. Um, you may be right. I can see it taking a little bit longer after what a lot of what I watched this year. And again, didn't watch much, but I think it may take a little longer. You may be right though. That's another place that just needs a new system. But see, I'm really trying to think this through. Sorry, I'm kind of stuttering and taking a while, but I think you could be right. They are. And like that's why I think you could be right because the thing is San Jose needs a new system and if you have a bunch of younger players, it's a little bit easier to get them to buy into your system. So that's kind of what I'm considering and that would be so like it may take a little bit longer. I mean, you do have they are younger, but you know 2 to 3 years might be enough. It may take closer to 5 just to get that really hardcore built in experience. The guys that you know are bought into your system to become new faces for the team and shit. Get your new captains. That's the only reason I think it may take a little bit longer. But I don't have a very strong argument against you. You know what I mean? Like, might have a slightly different opinion, but definitely not an argument against you. All right, under 6 minutes. We'll get one more on each reel and get ready for the start of the period. They get the first pick this year, could speed up. Hey, here's my thinking is with them being in the rebuilding period, one person could help, but they need a couple of years of picks. They need a couple of they've had a couple of years of picks. That's where they have their start. They're already starting with a few guys, but you need a couple of good picks. And again, you need to get it's been proven that not everybody fits into the system. So they could end up with some really good picks that don't buy in. You could end up with really good picks that end up with Jack Eichel over at Buffalo, which Jack Eichel's a great player. Nobody was, and Buffalo was happy he was in Buffalo. Like that whole relationship went south. So that's the thing, because you're going to get some good picks, and they're not going to work, and you're going to have to get rid of them. And then you're going to make a bunch of trades throughout the year and right at the deadline. And some of those may work or may not work. You may end up finding, Golden Knights got real lucky with Marcia So and Riley Smith and William Karlsson. Like, we were the misfits for a reason. And that definitely can happen. It's going to be, what is San Jose's tolerance for building the system they want? How good are they at picking the players who fit in? Like, that's really going to be is what attributes are they looking for as they build their team so that they don't have to waste time. And I don't know how good San Jose is at doing that. Well, so, like I said, a lot of it comes around to the fact that it's a full rebuild, in my opinion. That's what San Jose needs. Fit with the Oilers, Max Jones is. I mean, right. Like I said, some people fit, some people don't. And sometimes you can get the people that don't fit to end up being okay. But it's rare that it lasts very long. Like I said, I'm curious. I'm interested. A lot of stuff going on over the next couple years with a lot of teams. And again, that'll affect a lot of stuff. What is this team doing over here? Can we get one of their guys? Is he going to be a fit? I don't know. It's just the rebuilding process in hockey to me is way different than a lot of the other a lot of the other sports. It's a fun process to watch. Sometimes it works out instantly. Sometimes it's 10 years, 15 years till you go back to the playoffs. Again, it's, everything I say, especially when it comes to predicting the future, comes with a grain of salt. But, like, I see Vegas being fine. Henderson is stacked. We've got a lot of people. Colorado is headed in the right path. Dallas, if their guys can stay healthy and they can learn how to hold their temper, they're on the right path. I hate DeBoer. I hate what he did to the Golden Knights. I really don't like the guy. But Dallas seems to like him, so it seems he'll be over there for a little bit. I don't know. Like I said, kind of rambling and raving and rambling. Um, yeah, gonna admit, not a whole lot to add besides everything I've kind of just spent rambling about. Got about 30 seconds till we should be back. Let's restart the timer. Tell you what, I'll take this last couple seconds before the start of the period to grab some water. Now's a good time to hit the head, grab a drink, grab a snack, all the good stuff we usually say. Oh, everything's popping. All right, hit the head real quick before it comes back. Alrighty, y'all. Sorry I am late. We are back. Shot off the outside of the net by LA. LA controlling in the Oilers zone up close. Could not get a stick on the puck as it made its way across the top of the crease. Oilers headed back the opposite direction, and the Kings with a good stick, but it bounced right off of them and heads back the other way. Big shot from the top of the high circle. Puck comes into the crease. Someone was standing there waiting, and Kempfer ends up being the one that gets a stick on it. And then one of the crazier things I've ever seen, Kemper goes diving out at the feet of Perry to get the puck, and Perry ends up somehow taking Kemper's helmet off. Man, Draisaitl is having a rough ass night. They look like he was looking for a penalty, but I don't know what for. And then that Perry, honestly, Perry got his leg grabbed. Hey, I got nothing against Perry on that one. He gets his leg grabbed. He ends up going down. He's trying not, I mean, he's really not doing too much. He has no idea how to get off of Kemper, even though Kemper's held in a tough spot. But he definitely didn't assist in getting off of him, so whatever. LA trying to get the puck. It was a weird face-off. No one really won, but LA gets it up out of their zone. Over the top of the Oilers. We got an icing back in front of Kemper. Damn. This series, Kemper is 931-870-788. That's his saves percentage through the periods. First period, 2 goals allowed. Second period, 3 goals allowed. Fourth period, 7 point something, or third period, 7 point something goals allowed. So Kemper just deteriorates as the game gets late. And that's, like, honestly, you're starting to see the things that are going to kill teams if they end up moving forward. Like, LA can't do this in the third period against everybody. Like Edmonton, or not Edmonton, who was it? It's like New Jersey will, even if they somehow manage to go ahead, they ain't going to win anything if they can't get a power play goal. But Jesus, everybody hates the Oilers. Oilers fans hate that they are in Edmonton because they have to be Oilers fans. And it's funny, like, everybody's like, oh, what, you hate Big David because he's so good, Draisaitl because he's so good, you hate him because of this and that. It's like, no, I hate the Oilers because they're a bunch of pricks. They're dirty. Like, get away with murder because the golden boy is for the NHL is on the team. Like, Evander Kane should not be playing hockey. He's so dirty. Nurse is coming up on that list. Big shot from the top of the high circle. Kemper gets the save, and then somebody ends up laying right on Heineman ends up laying right on his arm. Or Hyman, not Heineman. Take a look at something while we are getting reset. So close. Puck ends up back in neutral. Edmonton dumps it deep. LA gets it out of the zone. Kings, weird little bit of kind of lazy play from Edmonton right there across neutral. Gets LA into the zone. Doesn't develop, but that was an odd play. Like an odd sequence. Big shot, big save, Kemper. 2 big saves from Kemper. Damn. That was impressive. He needs to keep that up for a long time. Oilers are finally starting to catch up on shots. 29-20 in favor of LA. Okay, good stick by Doughty there to choke the follow-up. But it still came in. But that big right stretch, and that's on the Oilers. That's on hang on, I'll find the number. Oh shit, I'm on the wrong day. $36. Klingberg. So I just wanted to know who got those shots on net. Oh, big shot. Kind of he broke his stick. I was like, he really pulled back on that one, and it didn't go anywhere, but it's because he broke his stick. Oilers getting the puck all the way back, and that's an icing, or at least it's getting called an icing. You got Janmark bitching and moaning. We were a victim of that. Boldy scored in Game 3, I believe. Maybe Game 2, where it was absolutely an icing, but they didn't blow it dead, and then Boldy scored. No, he absolutely got a tip on it. That's a bad call. Not that we are surprised. Puck into the high corner of the Oilers zone. Edmonton working to get it out. Oh, and a misplay on the high wall. He gets lucky, and it goes back to a teammate. Edmonton just on the struggle bus, but things turn around when it gets late in the third period. So we'll see what happens. Shot on Kemper from the low point. Easy kick to the low corner. Edmonton keeps it in. LA struggling to get it out. Suddenly, the Oilers have some ozone presence. Puck all the way behind Kemper. A whiff on the out, but he still gets it clear. LA going for a change. A misplay by the Oilers. Puck comes out. Man, LA is like 6 feet from having a great couple of minutes because that puck is just missing these guys. And Edmonton looks like they're trying to give it away. Oh, shit. I'm fading fast, fellas. Ooh. Oilers cross neutral into the LA zone. Down on the low wall. Good pressure. Takes the puck away. Kings going back. Kings entering up high. Ooh, and a shot makes it to Pickard, but an easy blocker save to knock it away. Shots at 31-20. LA, 14-20 to go in the third. Kings holding on to their 3-1 lead. Just nothing going for the Oilers. Oilers get a shot. Kempfer ends up with it. It is just, I'm sorry, guys. This game's moving very fast. I'm like freezing on what to even call out because it's, oh, see, just like that. Puck ends up on the net and Pickard fights it off. Now the Oilers cutting across the neutral line into the zone with speed. It's back to the point, low point, center point, shot. Kicked off to the high wall. Fiala coming through. All the way down low board. Took a little slash. No call. Fiala tried to do everything himself. He puts a puck into a skate. Makes a great move. That was bullshit. I don't know if that was Draisaitl he just went against. Draisaitl lost the race, turned around, and hacked. Like, hacked at him. I don't like that. Oilers put it on net, and Kempfer makes the glove save. Now, like, dude went to the ground, and, yeah, Draisaitl, he lost the race, the puck's in the corner, and he turns around and takes a hack. Right here. Boom. Okay. I'll retract it right off the bat. I know I just finished my sentence. On the replay, it looked like he thought the puck was under Fiala. I think that was Fiala that was battling with him. And he turned around to swing it, but he definitely had the intent of just swatting the dude. That's fine. That's hockey. I thought he straight up just boom. But that's not what happened. So, at the moment, okay. Damn. I'll write him back later. Fuck it. Oh, boy. We're getting towards the end, but it's not getting any less exciting. I'll tell you what. All right, still waiting for the commercial to come back so we can get going again. Quicker this period is over, the better. I am ready for some sleep. They're like, honestly, for the most part, Draisaitl has been kind of not the biggest issue. Dude, I still can't believe the Oilers did not challenge that goal from was it Fogle? Or was it Fiala? I think it was Fiala that scored that second. Was it the second goal or the third goal? It was the third goal. That Fiala goal should have been reviewed. Whichever one it was that ended up with pushing Picard's pad out of the way to put the net in or the puck in. That should have been challenged. It was, as far as I'm concerned, that was as clear as day. But Edmonton didn't want to take the risk of being wrong and allowing LA to score a power play goal. Oilers with a big shot goes wide of the net. Dude, if they could find the way between the pipes, Oilers would probably be pretty impressive, but they got about 40 shots that haven't been within 5 feet of the post. And LA sends it down from their own blue line after a little battle. Oh, broken stick right off the bat. I wonder if that was a slash on the Nault. Face off to the right of Kemper. Just under 12 and a half to go in the third. Big save. Kemper on a shot from the high point. Puck going down low, up the low wall, low point, back down the wall. Draisaitl tries to send it deep. A couple of tips, and Edmonton scores. Bouncing pucks. What do I say constantly? Hulky, I'm saying. Pucks to the net, bodies to the net, good things happen. I wish the Golden Knights had a lot more shots than they've had recently, so they kind of figured it out. But, dude, get the puck to the net. Draisaitl just kind of flings it towards the net because he has nowhere to go. And that is just Doughty tries to clear it. He can't. He's weak on it. And so Bouchard sends it down. It ends up hitting a skate and bouncing in the net to beat Kemper. That is crazy. That's why you send the puck to the net. See if we get an assist real quick. Nope. Scoring for the Edmonton Oilers, Evan Bouchard. Whatever. LA sucks in the third, and that one's not on Kemper, but Kemper has gotten extremely loose in the third. Like I said, he's like 2 goal against average in the first, 3 goal against average in the second, like a 7.46 in the third. Something crazy like that. LA into the Oilers zone. Byfield gets it on Pickard, and he's going to glove and cover. Unreal. That's so funny. Hockey mom, woo, with her beer. Very nice. Face off to the right of Pickard. A little bit of chaos in the low dot. Eventually, Oilers are going to end up with, eventually we're just going to keep going back and forth on the low wall. Good Lord. Oilers end up with it in their own zone, headed the other way. 11 minutes to go in the third. Puck back to neutral. This is all Oilers right now. The Kings have had shining moments, but they have done the same thing they did last time. They switched to playing not to lose. Yes, they just got a very lucky goal. Don't change the mentality. Attack, guys. Edmonton gets the puck into neutral. Puck's dumped deep. Ooh, good little misplay for the LA Kings as they try. He's circling behind the net. Trying to do too much on his own. I don't know where his help was, but I wasn't close by. Oilers into neutral. Cross the red, into the zone. Getting it deep. Kings working around the boards, and it's headed back the other way, but not very quickly. LA just might be out of gas, and Edmonton has the speed to where half energy is still really fast. I do think the Oilers might have been off sides here, so if they end up getting something on net, they're okay. Kings got it out. Doesn't matter. LA doesn't look like they want to take it into, like, they're not taking it into the ozone. All their shit is dump and leave. I think they're just going for short changes for a fresh defense, but again, that's what cost them last game. Puck behind the Kemper. Little 2-on-1. Oilers send it out front. Up to the high point. Throwing it down low, and Kemper gloves it with a lot of traffic in front of him. All right. And we got a moment for time, clean the ice. So I'm going to stand up and stretch. Oh, tell you what. I'm going to do this. Y'all can't see me. Oof. Oof. Feels good to stretch. Especially when you've been sitting down all day. Okay. Oh, boy. These timeouts are killing me, man. What a horrifying picture. Wow. Okay, 8:44 to go in the third. LA wins the face-off in their own zone. And we're offsides. Face off just across the Edmonton blue line. LA wins it. And they dump it in. Oh, big stick. Unbelievable. Good job by Picard. Basically laying down and getting lucky. That was a huge opportunity for LA, and Edmonton stops the opportunity. Phew. Pass all the way down the low boards, just across the red, tipped in. Kings win it. Fiala tries to go up the boards. Oilers there first, but Kings get it. And a broken stick. Looked like a slash to me. It was weird though, because it was like a one-handed reaction to the puck, but the Oilers stick broke. And the ref, you suck chance fill the arena. Reasonable. Like I said, I want to see it because it looked like he might have leaned on it, but it looked like it got whacked. So, oh, that should have been a trip. Edmonton is getting screwed on calls in Edmonton. I never thought I'd see the day. Holy shit. Yeah, that was huge by, is that Fogle? Yep. Let's see the slash. Oh yeah, absolutely a slash that should have been called. Absolutely. And then the trip, McDavid. Well, no, that actually, I don't agree. Let me show me that again. That didn't look as much like a penalty. Like McDavid was making moves, but I don't think the puck hit him any lower, or the stick hit him any lower than the thigh, and I don't agree that it had an effect. Again, I'd have to watch that again. They only showed it once, but the McDavid trip is kind of it may have been a trip. It looked like he went down, you know. But the slashing 100% should have been called. Edmonton should be at least on a 2-minute power play right now. Edmonton putting it on net, and Kempfer shuts it down. .634 to go in the third. Shots are 34-25. LA hanging on to that lead. My guess was I wanted Kings 5-2, but I figured Edmonton would end up winning probably by about that. However, if LA can find a way to get the puck down the ice and in the net, I do think we will have a 5-2 finish in favor of the Kings. But Edmonton has been getting screwed. I mean, honestly, both sides have been getting screwed by the officiating, but Edmonton should have about 5 more power plays than they've had. Which, hey, shove it, Edmonton. Shove it, Oilers. Now you know what it's like, and I have no give a shit. Absolutely, these missed penalties have affected this game. Eat one. I don't care. And that's not right. I should, it's everything needs to be called equally. It sucks, the ref shouldn't be taking opportunities away from the team. Blah 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 blah. I will have that conversation with any team except the Oilers. All right, so Florida, Tampa tomorrow at 4. As we're winding down in this one, we may still have a lot of excitement to come. I'm not sure. Not going to lie, I'm hoping LA just finishes this off. I don't want to go into overtime. But we'll be here if it does. Tomorrow, like I said, a great day for a little break. So we'll have the 4 o'clock game of the fight for Florida. And we'll be back for Colorado heading back to Dallas. That series tied up. Very, very interested in watching it. Love seeing Landeskog back. The man deserves it. And I'm just having fun watching Colorado, watching Landeskog, watching Natchez, Lincoln and McKinnon, O'Connor, Tays, McCarr. Like, that whole team is flowing, man. I'd be very surprised to see Dallas beat them, but Dallas draws penalties. That's their expertise. And that's what's going to kill Anaheim or Avalanche if they're not careful. All right. Let's try and get the blood flowing. We've got a little over 6 minutes. All right. We can do this. Ooh, LA able to keep Edmonton out. Oilers are going to reset from their own zone. A little bit of a pick, not much of an interference, but a pick. McDavid tries to make a move, loses it to the low boards. Oh, we're going to see some good hockey right now. Oilers wide. Again, missing the net by feet. LA is going to take the high road out. And LA goes for a change. That is a flat out better than Dallas. Absolutely. But the ice in Dallas so bad that it kills the adds advantage. True. That shouldn't be allowed. There's been a lot of bad ice all over the league. It's the unfortunate timing of having the playoffs being, towards the end of spring. Or like the middle of spring and towards the end. But you're absolutely right. Like Florida was like that back in 23. Their ice was absolute trash. But LA did good in Dallas, or LA. I keep doing that. Hang on, Fiala takes a shot and he goes wide. But Avalanche does good in Dallas. So it's going to be a matter of the drawn penalties because Dallas will get a power play off of two guys not even being in the same zip code. So, as much as I would like to say it doesn't affect it, the officiating will have an effect, the ice will have an effect, but Colorado can win in Dallas. Like, Dallas is not impossible by any means to beat at home. So, I got a lot of faith, especially with Landeskog coming back, getting a goal. Like, that team is amped. And I would actually be surprised for the Avs to lose in Dallas tomorrow. Puck up the low board. Shot on net from the low point. Hits bodies out front. And LA is not going to ice the puck. Good job leaving it short. 3.5 to go in the third. Got about a minute before Pickett's headed to the bench. Big shot, misses the net. Goes back, LA through neutral, has it, tosses it on net. Pickard catches it, and we got a face off. In the Edmonton zone, 3:04 to go in the period. 3:04 to go in the game. Oh, I didn't hear it. Fiala rang the bell, man. He went right off the post. And went off the inside of the post, too. He's an inch from it being a 4-2 game, man. Damn. I mean, he hit just on the inside of center. Sent that thing straight across the crease. Ooh, Kempy just gets it a little further through neutral. Oilers getting it into the zone. Big, high pop fly. They're, like, more teams need to use the pop fly. It buys you so much time to get deep in the zone. Puck ends up all the way back. Oilers heading out through neutral. Oilers low point controlling in the LA zone. Oh, bad bounce. What a weird bounce off the boards. The puck kicks dead center. No Oilers there. Kings get very lucky on that weird bounce. Pickard is on the bench. Draisaitl kind of just drops the shoulder and flattens Foegele, but Foegele does a good job to keep pressure on. LA towards the net, and it's wide. Minute 52, we got a face-off in front of Kemper. Just wide on the full-length attempt at the empty net. Face off to the right of Kemper. Oilers win it. High point. Down the wall. Falls. I don't know who that was. Just fell over. Now he's straight up holding the stick. Like, that should have been holding the stick just like that he got called for. Puck up to the high boards. Again, extra attacker as Pickard is on the bench. Oilers get it to the points. Throw it at the net. Puck comes loose. That's a clear trip that does not get called. LA shoots a big block. Oilers still have it. Lot of missed blatant penalties. Top of the bottom circle. Draisaitl gets it low of that circle. Shot on Kemper. He makes the save. And then Kemper's mask gets, I don't know if he knocked it off or it got taken off, but it looked like it got taken off to me. Yeah, that was a huge stop out high right there. Okay, no, his Kemper's helmet fell off. It didn't get knocked off. Couldn't quite tell. I don't know, Mel. There's been a lot of blown calls. Like, Oilers should have had a power play for the slashing that happened earlier. And then you got two big missed calls right there. I don't know. That trip was a blatant trip. That one's hard to explain why you don't make the call. Under 60 seconds to go in the game. Oilers in neutral, dumping it deep. Get it behind Kemper. Big hit down low from the Oilers, but they turn it over. A good stick. Why did you not send that the length? Why are you trying to skate that out? Huge mistake from the Kings. Could cost them. Oilers still in the zone. Circling up high. Down to the low dot. Back up high. Big shot. And they score. The Oilers score with 28.4 seconds to go. And that can be attributed to whatever jackass didn't send the puck out when he had the opportunity. Why are you trying to skate the puck out in that situation? I do not understand. Bad decision on the part of the LA Kings. The game was over. And for whatever reason, he decides to try and skate it out. That's Byfield. Byfield. I told you it was going to cost him. As soon as it happened, I told you that might cost him. And sure enough, dude, yeah, it's clear the puck on the, yeah. It's why he skated it out. And then as the shot goes to the point, the Kings completely cleared out the center of the ice. I can't believe it. And if Edmonton, well, that would have been different. Shot goes wide of the net, 10 seconds. And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to overtime. I was hoping to be able to eat by now, but I guess I'm going to wait. What's going on? Okay, so they're checking to see if the puck hit the net with about 5 seconds left to see if there's another face-off. Tell you what, though, Bouchard cost them a goal. And he came back and scored two. He got lucky on one of them, but that was a good tip. So, prepare. All right, that is the end of regulation. Already got the timer started. I'm going to sneak out for this one. We hung out through the other two, so I am going to take advantage of this one. And wow. Just wow, to be honest. LA continues to not be able to play a third period. And that one's on Byfield. That's on Byfield. You got how do you not just send the puck? How do you make the decision to skate that out? I really want to know. Like legitimately, I'm just rambling while I finish up doing what I'm doing, but how do you not chuck the puck down the ice? The game was over. But again, LA not able to finish a game. Third period struggles. It's happened all series, and we're back to it. So what do you I mean, it is what it is at this point. So for everybody who has been hanging out with me this game, you're awesome. It's late. But we are going to overtime. I am going to take the intermission break to go do a couple of things. Thought I'd be able to eat, but we're putting that off a little bit longer. So, yeah, just taking this intermission break, getting all set up. Being booze, cost each other a goal. Yeah, hey, but Boosh ends up with two. So, it's working out for Edmonton right now, and I would be very surprised to see the Oilers lose this game in overtime. I just would be. But like I said, the missed calls, we can go both ways all night on it. The officiating has been horrendous, but we're here. So, as usual, time to grab a snack, grab a drink, hit the head, whatever you guys got to do. It's late. We're still here, and we will be back for overtime. Sending you guys to the intermission screen. Countdown is going. Alrighty, give me a second here to refresh the feed. And we are back, waiting for puck drop. Lot of overtime goals on the side of Edmonton, not so much on the side of LA. I think this is going to go quick. I really do. I think Edmonton's going to end up taking it very quickly. Back behind Kemper. Ooh, Kings have the puck across neutral. Into the zone. Shot goes up or off the boards. LA keeps it in the zone. Down into the low corner. Oilers pop it up and out. Puck on the low wall in the Kings zone. He sends it around all the way to the high boards. Oh, almost a very dangerous play right there. LA gets it out. But that was close. Edmonton right back in, gets a shot off the low dot. Good save, Kemper. Kings back the other way. And a low puck ends up hitting Pickard in the crest. Guys, I'm going to apologize right now. I had myself a little tokey toke, and I've been here since 10 a.m. This is game number 4. If I start and saying stuff that doesn't make sense, I'm sorry. Hopefully the brain recovers by 4 p.m. tomorrow. Face off to the left of Pickard. LA wins it. Shot goes high. Puck bouncing around the net. Oilers are going to be able to get it up the low wall and out. And a interesting play from Brown for Edmonton. Catches it in the neutral zone and decides to chuck it up into the stands. Dude, Edmonton came clawing back in the way of shots. The third period is trash for the Kings, and I really don't think it's that they run out of gas like I originally thought. They change the way they play. When the Kings have a lead, they switch to play not to lose. They stop playing the win, and they start playing not to lose. And it completely changes how they play. They go for the dump and change, short shifts. Oh, a little bit of a fumble. LA keeps it in the Edmonton zone, trying to set up in the high corner. Puck goes up the high wall. Oilers have it for the moment, and they're going to take it out. Puck across neutral. It's going to go into the Kings zone. Chipped up, and it's out. Byfield going in. Gets the puck deep. Ooh, very close for Byfield to get a stick on that, but the Oilers are storming in the other way. But the Kings get the stop. Passes for Edmonton, not really connecting. Passes for Kings, not really connecting. The puck ends up in neutral. Across into the Kings zone. Doughty trying to play it up the wall. He doesn't go anywhere. Kings do get it out. If the Kings lose, I don't know how you forgive Byfield. 100%. And, of course you absolutely have to. Guys make mistakes. Unfortunately, I've had to forgive my favorite players on the Knights more times than I'd like to. But absolutely, Byfield's decision not to chuck the puck. Like I said, as soon as it happened, I said that's going to cost him. And it absolutely did. It took 7 seconds and it cost him. It's rough. Ooh, puck making its way across a little bit behind everybody who was crashing in. Stays in, but LA's going to go for a change. But no, I'm with you, man. And it's rough because he had so much space. He decided to take 4 steps and then try and fling it out. and it was the easiest decision in the world. You have all the space, get rid of the puck. But that will be one that keeps Byfield up. And hopefully, I'd actually like to see Byfield get the game-winning goal, because otherwise he's going to be dreaming about that. Whether they win or lose, he's going to be dreaming about that play for months. Oilers in. They get a shot on Kemper. It comes straight out. Battle for it underneath them. LA comes away with it. Good pressure, but they're able to get it out. Immediate turnover in neutral, and the Oilers dump it back deep on Kemper. Tosses it to Doughty. Doughty gets it up the ice. Into the zone. Lafreniere gets a shot on, kicked away by Pickard. Oilers storming back in. 2-on-2. Backhand. Kemper fights it off. Chipped it out, still chased after it. Exactly, Mel. That's... puck in by Kempy on Pickard. Pickard kicks it away. We are going back and forth at full force. Shot for... and a good stick stops that shot coming from Edmonton. But yeah, he did the one thing you don't do in that situation, which is skate it out. Like, just don't skate it out. Send it out. Like, ice it. Don't, Yeah, it would be a great way for him to recover from that, and I wouldn't mind seeing it one bit. Oh my goodness. Kemper almost screwed up big time. A hard shot off the boards. He goes to play it, ends up completely away from the net. Makes it back just in time as the puck comes out dead center. Holy cow. Holy cow. Kemper and I can't see who else that was. Dude, that was insanely fortunate. That should have been the ender right there, and it would have been a misplay by Kemper and Doughty, I think. Wow. Oilers win the face-off. Send it towards the net off of a couple of bodies. They still have it. Good little fake. He faked like he was going for the wraparound, cut back, but Kemper did a great job staying glued to the post he was on. Fogle able to get it deep. Puck comes out. Oilers through neutral. Get it back in the low corner. Doughty trying to get it around the low wall. Who is that? Somebody else had it. I think that was Fiala had it. Kings dump it deep. Go for a change. Oilers have it in their own zone. Resetting. 6 minutes gone in the first overtime. Oh, that's what I wanted to look at. Oilers keep it in at the point. Low point. Towards the net. Kemper gloves it. And Perry smacks Kemper in the glove. I'm sure they didn't like that. Yeah, so breakdown by period. Kings had 14 shots in the first period. Oilers had 6. Second period, Kings had 14. Oilers had 9. Third period, Kings had 6. Oilers had 15. Like, the Oilers suddenly decided to play, and that's when the Kings decide, like, the Oilers know, just buy your time. But buy the time, because let them get, by the time they're up 3 goals, LA is going to completely change the way they play, and they're not going to be able to stop you forever. Now, overtime, this is a little bit different because they don't have the ability, they don't have the option of playing not to lose. And it's been much, much more both ways than the third period was. Oilers have it behind Kemper. Lose it. Fogle gets it up. And the Kings get it out. Not very far, but the Kings get it out. As Moore is taken down from behind. Perfectly fair, perfectly clean. Big stretch pass all the way up. I think that was Fiala just getting in there getting his ass kicked as he's laying on top of the puck. Finally comes out. Nope, that was Moore. Just kind of got whooped by two Oilers. Doughty then sends it back. Bouncing puck beats everybody. Swatting at it. Edmonton ends up with it. Dumped deep. Kemper slows it down. Big hit. Separating the puck. Oilers looking a lot better so far in this overtime. Frozen up on the high corner of the LA zone. Finally out. Kings, Lafreniere. Can't get it deep, but Kings get it, and now they get it deep. Go for a change. They put it right on Pickard. He drops it. Oilers stretch pass right up the middle, and that's tipped up out of play. That should be a face-off in neutral. We'll see where it goes. It could be in the zone, but I'm thinking neutral. $12:09 to go in OT. Shots at 39-35 LA. LA wins the face-off in their own zone. They're headed out. See if they can actually get something set up. Just working the puck up the middle. A lot of Edmonton sticks and knocks the puck away from Kemper. I actually thought that was offside, but nope. LA coming back. Good job to wait for the change to complete. Moore looking. Oh, he was trying to get it across the point, but he just got his ass kicked. LA able to clear. They have it in neutral, going the opposite way. 1-on-2. Big. He makes space. Big backhand. Fogle creating space with nothing. Threatens the net. And now Draisaitl's faster than you. I got to see that again. If it wasn't a penalty, it wasn't. But that sure as shit looked like a penalty on the LA Kings to me. Ref, you suck. Fills the arena for the 30th time tonight. Lafreniere behind the net. Puck goes all the way out and down. LA in their own zone. 10.5 to go in the first overtime. All the way up the low wall. Oilers are going to come away with it. I can't believe that wasn't called a penalty. Hopefully we see a replay. But there have been so many I can't believe have not been penalties. Shot on Kemper from McDavid. Just working his way across the blue line through the group and getting the shot on from distance. Let's see this. That ain't the one. Is this it? Oh, no, that's not a penalty. No, absolutely that was not a penalty. Okay, I retract my gaping statement. No. His stick got caught between the wall and the guy, the King. And that's what yanked him backwards. That was in no way a penalty. Puck comes out to the center. King's headed back the other way. Kempe gets it into the zone. Under pressure. Around the net. Up the low wall. into neutral. Kings trying to send it back. Oilers are just putting on too much pressure. Puck gets away. Kings now have it in their own zone. Tipped all the way up, and Oilers will take it. Into Kings territory. Charging that high dot. Goes down. Loses his skates as he gets closer to the wall. Kings barely keeping it. Barely getting it out. The Oilers are so much faster than the Kings right now. Like, all game, it's been okay. Kings have done well, but the third period, you could see they weren't as fast, and now Edmonton's much faster in overtime. Kemper's going to glove that one. 9:08 to go in the first overtime. Shots are 41-39 LA. It has been a hell of a game. Like I said, I'm surprised. I absolutely called Edmonton winning it fairly quickly. But LA has done mostly a good job. Like, they are getting whooped a little bit by the Oilers. They are not having much control in the O zone. But they're doing okay at the moment. You know? So, see how long the Kings can keep it up. See how long Edmonton can keep the pressure on. You know, like, one thing, when it's the Knights and we're attacking a whole bunch of opportunities and we don't score, but we maintain time for, like, we'll hold 3 minutes of offensive zone time in, like, less than 4 minutes of game time. If we're not scoring in that much time, I start getting nervous, because that's when something stupid happens that sends the puck the other way and it's a breakaway and the other team scores. I'm really hoping that happens right now, where Edmonton's just attacking, and then they take a shot and it goes off a skate while the defensemen are cheating in. Somebody for LA is going the opposite way. It catches their skate, ends up in neutral, and they get, 8, 9, 10 step head start while everybody else has to change direction. I would love to see that. Then LA just go down and score. Oilers win the face-off. LA putting up a little bit of a fight, though. Sends it around the low boards. Oilers there first. They get it back down deep. Kemper pokes it away. And a good play by Kemper. He has been great. He collapses in the third period, but if it wasn't for that, he'd be fantastic. LA keeps it in. Oh, Moore gets it swatted away. Oilers into the zone. Pitching it to the low wall. Below the net. Kings, a bad stick. Ends up fluttering the puck in front of Kemper. Back behind him again. Comes out in front. Oilers have it at the high circle. Big shot. Rebound. Comes straight out front. LA able to get to it. Take the high road out. Oilers in neutral, under pressure. Coming in, misses the net completely up on the high wall. Oilers in the zone. Kemper makes the save. He makes another save at point blank range. The right pad of Kemper going to work. Oilers back to neutral. Here they come again. Kings need to get into the Edmonton zone. I just don't know if they have the gas to do it. Oh, another couple of great stops at point blank range. Kemper again with those pads just doing work, but Edmonton went a little crazy hacking away at them. And I'm surprised it's not more of a huddle after that. God damn it, I hate this cup. I gotta get a new cup. The 3 saves on Henrique from point blank. And then McDavid just he broke his own stick on Kemper's pad. Dude, McDavid, I used to care less about McDavid, and then over the last couple playoffs, I realized just how dirty he really is. And he's incredibly talented, but man, there is so much to dislike about a lot of the bullshit that he pulls and gets away with. McDavid wins it. Oilers get it down low. Trying to get it up the high board. Working his way. One hands it towards the net. No go. Big shot. Kemper makes another save. LA, you needs to get possession time in the Edmonton zone, and it is just non-existent. 7 minutes left in the first OT. A good stick at the blue line. And again, the Kings are just totally content with getting it out of their zone and then changing. Like, dude, you guys eventually need to get something on net. Shots are now 45-41 Edmonton. Ooh, Edmonton loses their skate. I don't know who that was, but finally LA tries to make an entrance in. Big tip. Wild puck loose in the Edmonton zone. Everybody's just swatting at a loose puck. That was absolute chaos. Still stuck in that that high corner. The one chance that LA has had recently. Bouncing puck on Kemper, and he's going to freeze it with the glove. Good Lord, guys. I mean, that was a great effort to get the puck in, and then that one-handed reach by Moore. Great effort, just does not quite get the angle. Ends up hitting everybody in the front. But LA needs a lot more than that. Like, I see Edmonton winning this because, I mean, Edmonton has 16 shots on net. LA has 7. So, like I said, barring something where LA makes a big mistake and crashes the defenseman when LA gets the puck on the way out, this is probably going to end with Edmonton winning it. Doughty gets the puck, makes his way out, and that's not what I want. I want LA taking this. Best entry so far, and the tip misses out front, and they can't control the puck in the middle of the ice out in front of the crease. LA from the low point pitches it down. Cross the point, shot by Doughty. Hits the back glass, goes into the low corner, low boards. Oilers get it out. By far the best opportunity for the Kings. Puck ends up going off Kemper straight into the sky. LA barely gets it out. They are just getting whooped at this point. Oilers back in, down the low boards, around the net. Backhand out front. Big save, Kemper. Draisaitl. Could not get anything on it towards Kemper. LA, you need to clear the puck, fellas. There you go. Oh, and they get it on side. Great job by Lafreniere reading that. Wait until it crossed and then getting on the ice to put on pressure. But the Oilers clear all the way down. Edmonton out of his zone. LA Oilers poke it away. 2-on-1 unless the Kings can hurry. Big whiff on the shot. Defense comes back. Holy cow. Another big save by Kemper. Oh my God. I got to try and control my volume. Holy shit. Oilers still keeping it, and they finally, LA gets it cleared. What an insane cycle right there. Holy cow. Oilers back in with pressure. Oilers still keep it in. Kings need a prayer. Still can't get it out. Send it, Fiala. Puck hits somebody. The Kings get it out. A couple guys go for a change. Wow. Puck in the LA zone, trying to get it up the high wall. Battling for it. 3 1/4 to go in first overtime. Kings still can't get it out. Bouncing puck comes up the middle. Finally, they get it out. It's going all the way down, and we have an icing on LA. Shots are 50-41 Edmonton. Edmonton has 20 shots in just about 17 minutes of overtime. All right, I don't know how much Kemper actually blocked that one. He did a great job blocking that one. This is pandemonium, late night on a Sunday. Welcome to the NHL playoffs. And this is only round 1. Absolute insanity. Face off to the right of Kemper. LA wins it. They're going to get it out of the zone. Can they actually nope, they immediately turn it over in neutral. The Kings are desperate for any sort of offense. Great back check to rob a chance. Puck is all over the LA zone. Insane back check to choke off the shot. Dude. Oilers working in the zone, getting it all the way across. After everything we just saw, you're going to call a penalty on that. Unbelievable. After everything that didn't get called. I got to see it again. Let's see it. I can't believe they just called a penalty. Wow. Like, this better be the penalty that defines all penalties. I know all the Edmonton fans will be screaming that clearly that's a trip. But normal human beings are very, very disappointed that would be, especially with how horrible the refereeing has been. You're going to call that a trip. That is so obnoxious to me. Like, if we want to have the argument as to whether or not it was actually a trip, then we can have the argument. However, when you look at all the horribly missed calls or horrible missed calls that there have been, egregious, blatant penalties that did not get called. And see, Robert Ross, you feel that way? I'm not going to argue with you. My thing is, because Edmonton's been screwed on not getting penalties called for them as well. The only thing consistent coming from this officiating crew is that they suck both ways. But for that, again, the officiating is horrible. As soon as we saw that guy, TJ Luxmore, as soon as I saw him, and we're in Edmonton, this is going to be a horribly officiated game. I can't believe Edmonton has been screwed over as much as they have this game. But holy hell, what a horrible time to call a bullshit penalty. That is absolutely insane. Like, I'm pulling so hard. Like, I was pulling for the Kings. Now I'm really like, let's go, Kings. And I know what's going to happen, and there it is. I can't believe that's how this game ends. I truly can't. I'm trying to put the words together for how I feel about this right now, and it is just absolute disgust. I can't believe what I just watched. Actually, I can believe it. Because in the end, it is Edmonton and Edmonton. And I think the refs just wanted to go home. Dude does a 180 to try and play the puck. McDavid runs into his legs, and that's I am Robert Mel. I agree 100%. And like I said, there were missed calls all game on both sides that were egregious. Okay, so I'm not going to take, there were so many missed calls that it's unbelievable. No, I absolutely agree, Robert. But, like I said, there were so many missed calls that, I mean, it was obnoxious. It got to the point of what the hell are these refs doing? In the overtime, there were penalties each way that were completely ignored. And then 3 minutes left, less than 3 minutes left, you're going to call that. I know I'm repeating myself and I apologize, but I just don't know how to wrap my head around this right now. And again, if you want to argue about whether it was a penalty, yes, they did, Tina. If you want to talk about whether or not that was a penalty, we can have the discussion. For that to be called in this game is the problem that I have. And hey, again, it goes down to Byfield not clearing the puck when he should have. Like, LA had chances to win this game. They had opportunities, and not opportunities that come down to scoring a goal. They had opportunities to make the right play at the right time that didn't cause a turnover. The right play at the right time that cleared the puck. Robert Ross, I appreciate that sub. I really didn't know that I set up a sub notification, but I do like having that. I like being I've missed a bunch. But actually, I think you just set me over to 100, which is really cool. So we'll get away from that game for a moment of happiness, I believe. Because if that's the case, that's actually really awesome. I'm excited about it. Yeah, Robert Ross, number 100, man. Big thank you. That's really cool. All right, first milestone reach when it comes to the channel, so I dig it. Sad that it comes on an Oilers win off a BS penalty. Oh my God. Like I said, Mel, Robert, I agree with you guys 100%. But reality is it comes down to Byfield clearing the puck when he has the opportunity, right? I don't know why he decides to skate. He tries to skate that puck out of the zone. I have zero understanding about his thought process for trying to skate the puck out. He had 15 feet. He closed the gap himself and then lets it get turned over. And we all knew exactly what was coming. I mean, the Oilers ran the overtime. LA had no intentions of trying to go down and score. They happened to on occasion, but they were just stuffed into their own zone, and they would get it out, go for a change. Get it out, go for a change. And Oilers kept pounding it in. And, I mean, what, it was like 21 shots, 22 shots for Edmonton in that overtime and like 7 for LA. So LA has got to fix their third period mindset. That's what it comes down to overall. Kempfer's doing his best. He's getting destroyed in the third period. He's fine for most of the game and then crashes in the third. But the thing is, so do the Kings. But it happens. Every other shift had their big guns out. Absolutely, racist fan. But that's the thing. So did the Kings were trying to do the same. Because you kept seeing Kempe and Moore, and they had the same guy. You know, Doughty played a lot. But Edmonton was all focused on attack, attack, attack. If LA goes the other way, we'll figure it out. LA was 100% on defense. They were on their heels the entire time. And the thing is, the third period for LA is the perfect description. This entire series, it's the perfect description of when a mindset changes from play to win to play not to lose. Because LA played the third period not to lose, and it carried into overtime where all of a sudden now they got to try and step up their shit, but they just spent 20 minutes on their heels. So everything in the third period for LA was dump it deep, go for a change. Dump it deep, go for a change. And again, in the third period, again, Edmonton was like attack, attack, attack. If LA goes the other way, we'll figure it out. And, you know, I'm very familiar with this because the Kings do it. My Miami Hurricanes do it all the time. Like, I watch teams do it. It's the same thing if you think football. A team runs the ball 80 yards down the field, gets to the 7, and then they run 3 pass plays. Like, why are you doing that? Seattle Seahawks. You got the biggest, baddest running back in the game. We're on the goal line. We're going to throw a pass. It's that kind of shit. Like, why are you changing up what has been successful? The Kings went up, 2-0, 3-0, 3-1, or what, 2-0, 2-1, 3-1. And then they completely changed how they were playing. They completely stopped worrying about getting into the Oilers zone. And so until you change that mindset, this shit's going to keep happening. Now, it doesn't help when you get horrible, horrible decisions by the referees. They let everything go all game, all overtime. They let everything go, and then you call that a trip. And I'm going to repeat myself again, so I apologize. If you want to argue whether that's a trip, fine, we can argue. If you're going to argue that that was an appropriate call in this game with every call that wasn't made, then there is no point in arguing you are wrong. That call has no business being made in this game that had atrocious officiating. And it's like, the refs went, you know what? I want to go home, man. Can we just hurry up and get this over with? I don't want to be here for another 18 minutes, and then we got to decide, and then we find out if it's going to be a quick one or The officiating across all sports needs to be fixed. Now, earlier today, I gave my solution. It all comes around financial incentive when the refs are good, and not only zero financial incentive. Like I said, you pay them $150,000 a year. If they're average, for accuracy percentage is 95% or higher, they can make 300 grand a year. Plus, they get more bonuses for being in the playoffs and if they make it the Stanley Cup. Incentivize AHL guys. If you made it to the AHL level, you get to go to school for free. We'll kind of fast track you based on your performance, so that we kind of get you into games where you may know a handful of guys and there's a little bit more respect between everybody. Guys that have been in the situation and are a little bit better at saying, you know what, what's the call? And like a penalty should be a penalty is a penalty is a penalty. That's how I feel about it. However, the consistency of the refs is more important. And to be that inconsistent that's egregious. So, and the refereeing was horrible all day. So when it came to Edmonton, I was like, yeah, no, this is going to be horrible. They were letting everything go. Then they make that call at that point in the game. It's arbitrary, ruined the overtime. Exactly, Mel. You just summed up my entire rant right there. To call that in this game is horrible. I hope, and I don't think it's going to happen because Edmonton just has too much steam. And LA cannot figure out their third period. They are fantastic all the way to the third period, and they suck. And it's all mentality. To me, it's coaching. The coaching is switching them to a defensive strategy, which, again, why? You are winning because of the way you are playing. Why are you changing the way you are playing in hopes you don't lose? It is the stupidest mindset change stupidest game plan change I've ever seen. All right, that's it. I'm going to wrap up. I think I've bitched about this enough. There are not a whole lot of thoughts. And again, said it before. I'll say it twice. I've said everything else twice. LA had plenty of opportunity to win that didn't involve scoring a goal. Right? They are... Third period, they failed to get the puck out. So Edmonton ran over them. Byfield skating the puck out is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. I can't believe he did that. But he did. So, saying the referees cost LA the game, yeah, sure. But LA lost the game on their own just as much. So, if you're looking at everything, you got to look at everything. And LA got screwed in the end, but they had a lot of time. They earned that call. They were all over the Kings all overtime. That doesn't make them earn a call. Like, Lucas, there is no way that is a penalty in the game that we just watched. You're going to say all the other calls that were missed, but they earned that one. Because Edmonton was all over the Kings in the overtime. Just because they were playing better than the Kings and had more O-time and had better opportunities at scoring doesn't mean they earn a penalty that had no business being called a penalty. Like, for one, I didn't think it was a tripping at all. The guy turned around to make a play. If he falls, he falls. If him and McDavid run into each other, I disagree totally that that's a penalty. But again, we can have that discussion. It is what it is. The fact that that call came at that time in this game where way more egregious calls were let go. Way more egregious calls were let go in the overtime. But they called that at that time. That's the problem. And again, to say they earned it because they were all over the Kings, no, that's not how penalties work. You don't earn a penalty. I'm sorry. And again, hey, if that's your opinion, bro, got nothing against you, man. It's just hockey. But I will say that I do disagree with it. And as far as I'm concerned, in the overtime, the Kings got screwed. throughout the entire time, both teams got screwed. It is amazing how many blatant calls were not made in favor of the Oilers in Edmonton. I don't think I've ever seen that. Everybody knows when you go to Edmonton, Oilers get the calls. There are a handful of arenas around the country and in Canada where that is just a given. Edmonton is the arena where you expect the Oilers to get everything, and they were getting screwed. Like, it was hard to believe what was not getting called watching this game. And then that's a tripping under 3 minutes to go in overtime. That is a shame to me. And again, just to reiterate, if all the other calls that were blatant were made, then fine. Again, I would disagree that it's a tripping, but fine. At least the refs are calling everything. But the refs let everything go. They picked out a couple that they felt like having be penalties. And that was a bad one to pick out. But again, it is what it is. Look, I am not an Edmonton fan. I know there's about 13 people in the world that are. I'm kidding. Relax. But I'm not an LA Kings fan either. Obviously, I'm a Knights fan. So this really, we still have to beat Minnesota for it to matter who we play in the next round, right? So at this point, this game doesn't matter. However, all day, there have been unbelievably bad calls made by the refs, phantom made-up calls made by the ref, and horribly called. They forced the penalty. No, they didn't. Okay, like I said, hey, if that's your opinion, I disagree with you. That wasn't a penalty. And still, whether you believe it was a penalty or not is not the point. The point is, if you watch the game, you saw 30 penalties that were worse than that not get called. You saw 30 things happen that were way worse than that. Understand? Both teams getting snowballed game. Yeah, absolutely. Earned it, like I said, forced the penalty. I can't vibe with you on that, but like I said, I appreciate your opinion. I can understand it. Not on the same side. However, we are on the same side. Both teams getting snubbed all game. And like I said, all of it comes down to, I know I'm repeating myself. I apologize. It's late. I've been here since 10. But it all comes down to the inconsistency from the refs. There were things that were way worse than that play that doesn't get called, yet they called that one then. That is my gripe more than anything. Right? So, inconsistencies from the refs is the biggest problem. If you're going to be a shit ref, then you better be one all game. If you're going to be a good ref, you better not miss too many calls type of deal. But that guy, TJ Luxmore, I'll never forget that name now. Every time I see him, I immediately think, damn. Like, when I see him on the ice with the Knights, I immediately go into shit. Because whether or not, it's not that he's going to be against the Golden Knights. It's that he is going to be horrible. This crew is going to be horrible. And it's like I was starting to say earlier. You pay the refs $150K a year. If their percentage is over 95% in the way of accuracy all year, they get $300,000 in the way of bonuses. Plus, they get bonuses for being in the playoffs in the Stanley Cup. If they're shit, then they don't get the bonuses. They still make their money. But if they're shit continuously, like so many times in a certain amount, so many games in a certain amount of time, then they don't get to referee the next couple of games, and they're going to miss out on that paycheck. And they go down. Maybe it's instead of making $5,000 for that game, they got to go call the AHL and get better, and they only make $3,000. So they lose out on a couple of bucks, but they're still going and they're still refereeing, right? And they're getting coached and they're getting trained. You set up a school for refereeing and for officiating, line judges. You do it in a place that is overloaded with hockey, all the way from 6 and 7 year olds to high school travel leagues, juniors, maybe a pro team, beer leagues, whatever. And you're constantly getting them games all the time, over and over. You're constantly training them over and over. And you incentivize guys, maybe AHL and higher. If you made it to the AHL or higher, you get to go to school for free. Maybe you can figure out a way to get paid while you're there even. But you have a time frame. You got to prove you know your shit, and you have to go officiate games. You start off just like everybody else does. You do the younger kids, maybe high school, and you get reviewed. If your accuracy is high enough, you move up. But again, you incentivize. If you are the best referee, you're 95% and above, instead of $150K, you make $300K. You do the playoffs, you make an extra $50K. You do the Stanley Cup, you make another $100. If you're the best referee going and everybody, you may get a couple calls wrong, but for the most part, you're on top of your shit. You make a shit ton of money. And everybody knows you. Everybody wants you for the game. You start getting the respect. If you blow a call, maybe you don't do an interview, but the ref should have to give a statement. Maybe a written statement. This is what I saw on that play. After watching a replay, I understand that I made a mistake on that call. Fine. At least there's an ounce of accountability. At least you have an incentive for the referees to want to get better rather than relying on the technology. We saw it happen earlier. There was some goofy penalty that they called a 5-minute major so that they could go and look at the replay because nobody wanted to make the call on the ice. That is the stuff that can't happen. Otherwise, why do we even have refs? So you get the guys that have played hockey at a high level. And you start with those guys. And like I said, you bring them in. I'm going to look up right now, Lucas. And I guarantee you will get better performance out of the officials and a lot more respect out of them because there is none happening right now. LA went 0 for 3. Oilers went 2 for 3. So there were 3 penalties called on each side. That's it. And again, if you watch that game from start to finish, there is zero way you looked at that and went, yeah. No, like I said, Lucas, 100%. I am with you 100,000%. Absolutely. It was not a bias issue in my opinion. Now, others have that opinion. I'm not going to argue it. It is what it is. I am not on there was a bias or cheating or something like that. I am on the side that the refs are trash, and I'm sick of the refs being trash. Right? Because like I said, Byfield could have ended the game by shooting the puck down instead of trying to skate it out. The refs didn't cost LA the game. LA cost themselves an opportunity to win the game. And the bad call screwed them up at the end. That's my opinion. Yes, LA got screwed at the end with that call. That's my opinion. I don't think it cost them the game, so to say. It cost them that moment because there was no way LA was shutting that down. They were struggling 5-on-5. So they absolutely cost that moment. However, the LA Kings cost themselves the game. Byfield was a dumbass trying to skate the puck out instead of shooting it down when he had plenty of space, empty net for Edmonton, and it's close to the Tigers 15 feet away. Yeah, look, it's like I said, we definitely agree more than we don't. I can tell you that much right off the bat. But it's a shame that happened. Yes. Did the refs cost him the game? No. Did they cost him the overtime? Kinda. But again, in the end, LA spent the entire time dumping the puck and going for a change to head back on defense. The only time the puck actually was in the danger zone in the Oilers' territory. I was going to say zone twice, but whatever. The puck was dangerous in the Edmonton zone twice in 18 and change of overtime. So, yeah, the refs didn't cost them the game. They screwed them in overtime, but LA LA lost that game. And until the Kings can switch up the mindset to stay in attack mode when they're winning, it's going to keep happening. I say it about the Knights all the time. They don't show up for first puck drop. They show up about 10 minutes late. They don't know how to play 60 minutes of hockey. If we don't get rid of that mindset, we're screwed. Well, for LA, if LA doesn't keep the, must-kill mindset and to keep attacking, we're never winning. It's always a tie. If they can't get into that mindset, they're going to be screwed because Edmonton's kicking their ass in the third period. Avs are not going to be as nice. Avs are going to put up a fight in first and second period and then slam shut in the third. So, depending on how everybody makes it out of here, if LA makes it out of here, they're in big trouble. I would be very surprised if they do, but they are in big trouble. But Lucas, good talk, man. I definitely think we agree on most of that, like I said. But that's it for me. Mel, Races, Robert, all you guys, I appreciate you hanging out this late with me. It's time to wrap it up. I'm a couple hours late for food. I'm starving. But we'll be here 4 p.m. tomorrow for Florida, Tampa, and 6:30 for Colorado, Dallas. I'll be here for both games. We're just going to roll right from one into the other. So if y'all are around, I hope to see you then. Mel, I'm with you. I know that pit in your stomach is going to be sitting there all night, but I think the Avs got it when they go back to Dallas. I really do. Hey, thank you, Mel. Hey, likewise, Lucas. Y'all have a fantastic night, and I will see you again 4 p.m. tomorrow afternoon.